pretty darn good.
Oh yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it looks rather immaculate. I'm gonna show it again, actually.
and also take note of the jersey he has on because that's important. But
all right, yeah. So I'm wearing a Manchester United jersey right now, and Wayne Rooney is painted on my face. This
payback.
Is awful.
We returned the favor. You got us 3-0 last year at Old Trafford. We get you back.
Okay, but if we actually let's talk about the match a little bit and what's been leading up to it. Actually, why don't we segue into our signature segment now to discuss the match. So Rohtas, I want you to tell me right now: has Brendan Rodgers been sacked yet?
No, he is not.
No, he has not.
Despite the fact that they were unable to qualify for the knockout stages of the Champions League.
They knocked out earlier this week.
Yeah, a disappointing result against Basel. There were rumors, I think you mentioned that there were rumors that he could be out the door if the result was poor enough, but I guess it was okay. And then you're looking at the performance today. I mean, credit to him. He really went for it. He really tried. He said, things aren't looking too great for us right now. I got to try to do something to fix this. He went with 3 at the back. He put in a backup goalkeeper. I mean, he really went through all the stops. He really went for it.
He did. And before I get into that, for anybody who's tuning in at home but would actually prefer to watch us on YouTube, you can. If you go to YouTube /JLB Sports TV, you'll be able to go to my YouTube channel where you can see our live hangout happening. It's being simulcast through Google Hangout. Really easy, really awesome. So go check it out if you haven't already. But if we want to get into Brendan Rodgers, and we really must have to. Actually, before we do, I want to just play this one vine because this is the vine that rings in my head.
This pretty much sums
over
it up.
and over. Over. Oh yeah, that is awkward. That's Brendan Rodgers commentating about how if Tottenham spent £100 million, they should be, competing for the league. Meanwhile, Liverpool have spent over £100 million in the summer and are competing for what, 9th mid-table?
Seriously, bro.
Oh Lord. Okay, well,
the exact same thing happened. It's hard. I mean, it's very difficult to scout talent around the world, and it's not to say that Liverpool necessarily did a bad job, but you take a look at the guys that they brought in. They're not necessarily guys that are win now type of players.
Yeah.
They're prospects. Markovic is a guy that I think we like as a prospect going forward. He needs much more experience under his belt to be playing at a higher level.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, he's young. He's only born a year after I was.
Exactly. He had a nice pass to Balotelli today.
He's 20 years old.
He almost set him up. So, I mean, Emre Can as well, another guy. Big, strong in the midfield, but not right now. That's going to be able to really come in and contribute.
And this actually ties nicely back to the point I want to make with Rodgers, which is fans have been calling for him to start using his summer signings. The guys that he actually went out and signed in the summer, he's playing, and if he's not playing, he's playing the wrong ones. Guys like Lazar Markovic, who've shown bright spots in certain situations. I agree with you. He's definitely very raw right now. But when the side is just so lacking in pace and creativity and incisiveness, he's a guy who can maybe provide that bit of magic. Adam Lallana has started sparingly.
With injuries, that's been a big issue for him.
Yeah, Alberto Moreno hasn't been starting he started today, but Jose Enrique has been getting games over him. So it's been a very strange stretch. I mean, Emre Can is another one who fans are also calling for, who can be a versatile box-to-box center midfielder. And I think today Brendan certainly did, I guess, go for it in a sense. I feel like Balotelli should have been starting from the outset. He maybe not have felt comfortable bringing Balotelli on so soon. Maybe that's why he only got 30 minutes. That's up to the medical staff discretion. Balotelli coming back from injury. I would have liked to see him start today, but the midfield and the lineup that Liverpool went with, I necessarily didn't have a problem. If we're going to accept that Ricky Lambert can't be playing anymore, and if we're going to accept that Fabio Borini basically doesn't exist anymore, then why not just throw out 6 midfielders and have Raheem Sterling play up top? And it almost worked. Raheem Sterling's got great pace and awareness. He was peeling off the backs of center backs rather well to get in on the end of through balls. So that works. Raheem Sterling was in for a few chances in the first half. This could have been a completely different game had Sterling put on some finishing boots on his left foot.
Yeah, exactly. That's the issue though. He's with Sturridge out. Obviously, the burden is he has to take a pretty big burden onto his shoulders now.
He is. He's 20 years old.
A much larger role with this team, and it just doesn't seem like
this is the fundamental.
Can't do it every single game. And
You're right.
And it didn't. And again, he had his chances today.
I mean,
no left foot.
This is the fundamental failing in the Liverpool side when you rely on a 20-year-old who has never scored more than double-digit goals in a season to all of a sudden come out and start leading your goal front when you have Ricky Lambert out there and other players who are suffering at striker. You just can't put it all on a 20-year-old's shoulders when he's never been in this position and never scored at this rate before.
And yeah, I mean, really, at the end of the day, for Liverpool, you had an encouraging enough performance from Balotelli, who didn't finish his chances as well. But it really just comes down to Daniel Sturridge and when he finally can come back healthy, because he's the missing link.
All right.
He's the missing link to this entire team, because the second he's out on the pitch, everybody else around him gets better.
You're right. I know, and that's why I feel like it's hard to pass such harsh judgment on Balotelli in particular,
and on Brandon Rodgers,
and on both players, because I mean, Rodgers went into this season with expecting X amount of games out of Daniel Sturridge. As we've learned, it was foolish of him to expect that. The big failing with Brendan Rodgers is he didn't have a plan B. His plan B was to play Balotelli or Lambert up top alone, players who aren't, they don't strive as they're not really great lone strikers. They like playing off another man. They like looking for passes, looking for runners, and Balotelli never had that all year. And now, when Daniel Sturridge comes back, hopefully Balotelli will have that. But today in particular, I thought he did a pretty good job linking up with Raheem Sterling here and there. He made some stupid fouls, of course, had some questionable decisions. But all in all, you could have said, okay, Mario, you had chances to get 1 or 2 goals on you. But I don't know how much of that is necessarily, lack of effort or lack of performance on Mario's part, and part of it is just David De Gea, Manchester United's goalkeeper, looking like legitimately behind Manuel Neuer, the second best keeper in the world.
And the best goalie in the Premier League for sure. I think going into the season, many people would have liked to go with Thibaut Courtois,
of course,
Chelsea's goalkeeper. But David De Gea, the way that he's been playing has been lights out. And there were a couple instances today and over the last couple games, because again, United hasn't created the most amount of chances. They've been extremely efficient with their chances, going like 4 for 6 or 4 for 7.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about United chances
over their last couple of games?
So United's last 5 shots they took before they scored the third against Liverpool, 4 of them had resulted in goals. And if you look at actually the match stats for the day, Liverpool outshot United 19-11. But what United did was, they weren't necessarily more efficient with their shots. They just had more possession overall, actually,
and better chances.
I don't know about better. I mean, they had a handful of good chances, but United had a lot of junky possession today, where it was kind of just hold on to the ball for a little bit, junky pass here. But they were clinical in their chances, and Liverpool weren't, and that's what it ultimately boiled down to. Some of the effort though on the Liverpool goals conceded though was so poor. Valencia nutmeg Joe Allen.
Coutinho didn't backtrack on the goal. So
can we talk about the first goal for a minute? Wayne Rooney's goal So Valencia just trots in the box while Alberto Moreno, Adam Lallana, and Joe Allen are just left in his wake watching. He picks out Rooney near the 18-yard box, and Rooney, with great power and precision, slots it into the bottom right-hand corner. Problem is, Liverpool goalkeeper Brad Jones, a guy who literally has just not played at all since he's come to Liverpool.
2 years. I asked you that before the game.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you worried at all? Like, you're a backup goalkeeper. You're in a routine of being the backup goalkeeper for 2 years. Like, that's like ingrained in you. You're used to doing everything.
Yeah, and
all of a sudden you're just thrown out there in a game of this magnitude.
I mean, Liverpool have not, outside of Simon Mignolet, Liverpool have not invested, especially actually outside of Simon Mignolet, this ownership group and Brendan Rodgers have not invested in goalkeeping.
They need to get a number one, like a legitimate one.
And Brad Jones out there was horrifying. I mean, on Wayne Rooney's shot, he dove the wrong way before Rooney even shot the ball. How do you do you can't have that at United away.
He's trying
and
to
after the game,
anticipate the shot, and he guesses wrong.
Why are you guessing?
Because you don't know what. Because again, Rooney did it in the game against Hull. He might fake like he's going to bend it, but instead, and this time he bent it rather than pulling it.
For all the crap Mignolet has gotten, and for all the legitimate terrible play he's shown this year, he's actually a good shot stopper.
He is.
He has good reflexes. He can stop shots.
He can. And that would have helped today.
After the game, Brendan Rodgers did say that his job is lost indefinitely, and that Mignolet has accepted the backup role.
Wow.
So going into 2015, Brad Jones will be our starting goalkeeper.
Wow, things are going to get interesting in Liverpool. But for United, I can't say,
You guys are grinding out results.
6 wins in a row now. And again, you mentioned when you have strikers in form like Rooney and Van Persie, this is why we have the extra money. This is what you pay for. You get what you pay for.
Yep.
And they have been clinical in front of goal. It happened against Southampton. They got outshot. But again, Southampton made some pretty silly errors. And you're going to pay the price against guys like these. Overall, having Michael Carrick there in the midfield, I think Louis van Gaal is really starting to get the wheels rolling.
Yeah, you think he's greasing the wagon a little bit?
I think so. 6 wins in a row now, and
they're top of the form guide. Of the form guide.
It's a good run. It's a good run. But again, the form away from home is ghastly.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's still a great performance. I'm so happy with the way that they finished their chances. And David De Gea, you can't say enough about him. The Wingers played great.
He's your MVP of the season. David De Gea is why you guys are sitting in 3rd place right now on 31 points.
That's been the difference because
you're only 5 points off City for 2nd.
He's kept us in every game. He's kept the guys in every single game, and that's when we have our opportunities to take our chances. And
this is what happens, I guess, when you're in your Manchester United and you may have so many problems and so much issue within your squad and so much disorganization still with how they're trying to actually play. But when you have legitimate world-class attacking players on the pitch, you can't give them more than one chance.
Yeah. So, and if we're winning games with Valencia and Ashley Young as our wingbacks, it's an encouraging thing going forward when we get Luke Shaw back and Marcus Rojo back.
Mm-hmm. Watching star strikers, find white-hot form and become overly clinical and inefficient and riding them out. That's not anything new we've seen in football or in the Premiership in the past. If you have a hot striker, you can generally ride him out for a few games, and United certainly have that in Wayne Rooney and Robin Van Persie right now, much to my chagrin.
I'm very So here we go. It's gonna heat up now. This is when all those fixtures come up in one bunch around the holiday season, Boxing Day and everything else. So it's gonna be a fun period coming up.
Not for Liverpool.
Not for Liverpool. But for the other 2 teams that sit above Manchester United.
Yeah.
Chelsea and City hold serve. City didn't really do it that impressively again. Frank Lampard somehow is scoring goals. I don't know what he's doing.
And
nobody can get in the positions. He just is the right place in the right time all the time.
And he's in a side where he can, I feel like, afford to do that. Because City's so talented in midfield, and they have cover that Frank, it's kind of he can just wander. His legs don't have to be there. He can show up in the box, Johnny on the spot as he pleases,
very good point.
And that's what he's doing right now. I think more interestingly,
Stevie G's got no help, but Lampard can just
Well, yeah, if Stevie G had Yaya Toure next to him, I'm sure Stevie G wouldn't be under the kind of fire he is right now. But the interesting thing about Lampard is this is going to be, I think a question of potentially. Financial fair play going down the road. Just because if we see right here, if Frank Lampard, who's signed to NYCFC, extends his loan, even though the MLS season starts in March, and Manuel Pellegrini said, no, we need Lampard for the long haul. Wow. Pellegrini wants Lampard to stay in Manchester City until May. NYCFC season, their inaugural season, starting off in Yankee Stadium with Frank Lampard as their flagship player.
You think the Yankees are going to get? Of course, the Yankees are going to get involved with that.
Yeah, when you have an ownership group who and you're paying wages to a player who's not even playing for your club for the 2 months, and he's supposed to be your star flagship player on your franchise's debut, that's not going to go over well with people at NYCFC. So it depends how far Man City are willing to take this. If they're if they keep Lampard until May, and then this sort of becomes a repeat thing where NYCFC signs star players using their designated player spot, and then they just go out to Man City for a season and hang out there, and then come back in the summer. That's going to be a problem because I'm pretty sure CONCACAF, UEFA, MLS, everybody involved isn't going to be okay with that.
not at all.
Because there are a lot of conflicting interests here, and they will butt heads if NYCFC and Man City, go down this charade route. Absolutely. I hope it doesn't happen.
I hope so. But you're taking a look at City winning 1-0. Chelsea looked a lot better though against Hull, who is again struggling mightily.
They're barely a team right now.
Yeah, Diego Costa, really. Diego Costa scoring again. Basically, he, now with Sergio Aguero gone, Diego Costa assumes the role as the Premier League's best striker.
Oh, no. You can't funk with my heart. I'm not going to let you do that. No, Alexis Sanchez has my heart.
No, don't do this.
Do you want me to go on another Alexis Sanchez?
Yeah, we'll get to Sanchez because Arsenal's playing Liverpool, so you're going to get to know him very well next week.
Piss off, Rohtas.
Yeah, Brad Jones is going to be taking shots from Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah, the best forward in the Premiership. Sorry, Diego Costa.
He is the best forward in the Premiership.
Who?
Diego Costa.
No, it's Alexis Sanchez.
I don't know.
What does the Premiership boil down to when you have a United fan and a Liverpool fan arguing over who's better, Costa or Sanchez?
To
hell with both of them!
I know, right?
To hell with both of them!
A Chelsea player.
Both players who could have been in Liverpool uniforms under different circumstances.
Well, you're just upset, all right?
Yeah, I'm upset because Liverpool wanted both of them first, and because Liverpool aren't sexy, and because they haven't won a league in a long time, and because they don't pay the wages that United pays. We didn't get either of them.
Step it up, Mr. Henry. The Henry family out in Boston, right?
Shut it.
Hey,
don't be like one of those fans who's like, John, where's all the money? Where's all the money? I seen all the.
Where is it? Hey, they own the Red Sox too, right? Come on.
No. Okay, if you, not to go on a major tangent here, I'll keep this brief. But if you know anything about business, and if you've taken Business Development 101, you know that FSG, Fenway Sports Group, which is John Henry, is a parent company. The Red Sox and Liverpool are subsidiaries. Whatever happens with the Red Sox doesn't affect Liverpool whatsoever. I can't tell you how many Liverpool fans are in John Henry's mentions every single day on Twitter. Like, John, where's the money gone, John? Where is it? You spent it on the Red Sox and that baseball, yeah? And it's like, oh my God, you stupid people. Stop bothering him.
They don't get it. It's
anyway,
completely separate entities from two completely different spots.
Yeah.
In the world. But absolutely. I mean,
I'm just staring you down right now, man. I'm salty. This is Justin's salty day.
Yeah, because the Packers just lost.
Well, yeah, I woke up at 8:30 and watched Liverpool get drums. I have Wayne Rooney on my face. I'm wearing a Manchester United jersey. I just lost air. No touchdowns.
First time ever, but we can't get into it.
This is a huge sports day for me, and all of it is down the toilet. Even
my fantasy football.
Yeah, my fantasy football team's in the championship,
0 for 3.
and I'm losing right now.
0 for 3.
Biggest sports day of 2014 for me, and it's going in the bin.
What a shame.
Just bin it. Bin my Sunday, everyone.
At least you can't say eggs basket anymore. The eggs championship. I'm kind of all right. But okay, so I know you want to get on to your Sanchez crush, your Sunday Sanchez crush.
Okay,
so
let's get into the first sports game of the week next week then, which is
the game of the week: Liverpool-Arsenal. Two teams in completely different spots right now.
And you know it's at Anfield. Last season, a totally different Liverpool team with Suarez and Sterling and Sturridge all on the charge. They came and destroyed Arsenal 5-1 after losing Arsenal actually 2 months prior. So that was a huge moment in Liverpool season. Arsenal are coming to town again. Liverpool in a much different position than they were last spring. They're gonna lose this one, aren't they? I
mean, it's at home for Liverpool, so
Arsenal has been very wishy-washy, but the way that they came on at home at the Emirates this past weekend was pretty outstanding. Watching Alexis Sanchez work
against the hot Newcastle United team that everybody had been raving about.
White hot Newcastle United.
And so for Arsenal, I'll tell you what, Olivier Giroud, they're starting to look good together. Sanchez and Giroud are starting to combine nicely together.
A big little partnership.
Yeah, seriously, because Sanchez can provide him service, can provide him through balls within the channels.
Sanchez can do everything.
Yeah, he can do everything. And I think Giroud, when his finishing boots are on, he's finally starting to show that he is more than just a header. But
the second goal he grabbed in the dying moments of the Arsenal game, that little flick he had was
with the left foot was
beautiful.
Nice.
I didn't know Olivier Giroud was capable of sweaty goals like that.
Like, where is this coming from? Maybe he's just 100% healthy now. Who knows?
Perhaps.
He came back super fast from that injury.
I will say playing with a player like Sanchez on your side makes the world of difference. And that's why, as a Liverpool fan, watching him play for Arsenal hurts me so much. Not only the fact that, He apparently didn't want to come to London. I mean, didn't want to come to Liverpool because his wife liked North London. Never mind that. It's just that he is so much like Suarez as a player, in my opinion. He's got that little bit of bite to him. He definitely doesn't have the diving or the theatrics, I'd say, that Suarez has. But in terms of effectiveness and in terms of the type of player, I'd say they're similar. They're small. They're great dribblers. They can play all over the pitch. They like to pop up in the space, whether it's through the middle, on the wings. They're outstanding dribblers. I mean, they're complete packages at forward. And also, they like to press and get after center backs, too. So if you're a center back and Sanchez is 10 yards from you, you better get rid of the ball quickly because he's charging right at you to try and take it from him. We saw Sanchez do that plenty of times. He's all hustle. He's all technical ability. He's all pace. He's everything you want in a forward.
He's extremely versatile.
He's the kind of player that, in my personal opinion, if Arsenal keep him healthy and they don't wind up in the top four with Sanchez alone, Arsene Wenger has to look in the mirror, and everyone else on that squad has to look in the mirror because Sanchez, in the absence of Sergio Aguero, depending on how long he's out for, I think is going to make a legitimate run at the PFA Player of the Year.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just said that.
Yeah.
PFA Player of the Year.
Alexis Sanchez.
Okay. I mean, there's still a long ways to go in this season, so definitely
it's a shout. It's a shout.
He can get hot.
It's a shout.
He can get hot. I
mean, the way that he's scoring and dishing out assists, I mean, he's really, really killer,
he's
bro.
He's really doing everything. I mean, this is the kind of performance that you expect to see from an Arsenal team like this at home. Really dominate the game.
But the thing is, they scored earlier on. That's the difference.
Exactly.
We see Arsenal time and time again. They don't capitalize on their early, easier finishes, and then late on, the other team scores, and late on, Arsenal are biting their nails trying to get a winner at the end or something. This was a comfortable game, and it was reminiscent of the past Arsenal games in the fact that they had chances. It was just in this one, there were better quality ones, and they were clinical with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's the theme of today's show: finishing your freaking chances.
Yeah, Sanchez had 2 nice assists to Giroud, and I think Santi Cazorla also a huge boost of confidence for him to get 2 goals.
Yeah, he had a great cheeky finish on the through ball from Sanchez actually in the open play goal, and then he scored a penalty again with a chip.
Exactly.
So Cazorla was feeling himself a little bit this weekend,
absolutely was. I mean, just full of confidence, and that's what you need.
Oh yeah,
from a guy like him, especially with the injuries. 10 guys on the injury.
He must have taken like
list.
2 shots of tequila before the game and maneuvered up for this one because the way Arsenal's been going and the way that Santi's been playing, this was unexpected from him. But he definitely has the quality.
Yeah, he's got some flair. So Arsenal, I mean, that was their performance.
Yeah.
People will have to deal with your guy Alexis Sanchez. You're going to be watching that very closely.
Yeah, and you know, Sanchez is definitely going to be licking his chops if Brendan Rodgers is going to throw out Martin Skirtle and Dejan Lovren out there again.
Ooh, Dejan Lovren!
Are you kidding me?
That man needs like a reality check. He needs.
At this point in the season, I feel like what Liverpool have gotten out of him is less than what Liverpool got out of Andy Carroll for £35 million.
It seriously has to be the pressure. There is no other way that he can perform this badly after a season that he had last year. After the season that he had last year, for him to be playing this badly.
Well, the Twitter rumor going around today was Lovren has privately, admitted and said that he's been concerned with the lack of cover in front of him. So is he a center back that was really just looking good because Morgan Schneiderlin was acting as a sweeper in front of him?
But what about Stevie G and Lucas? It's not there.
Where's Rosa and Morgan Schneiderlin, especially Stevie G? I mean, Lucas hasn't had his legs right about him.
But aren't those players supposed to sit back more anyway? And
they are, but the problem is they're not good at it. So maybe Dejan Lovren is a player who's great individually and had his moments last year at Southampton, but ultimately he looked better when Morgan Schneiderlin was playing in front of him in the base midfield and covering up and plugging any and all holes. I think that may be what it is. Maybe Dejan Lovren just isn't as good as we think he is. Mm-hmm. But he came in and he was hailed as a Carragher replacement.
He is not who we thought he was.
I feel Brendan Rodgers usually when he talks up players like that, they respond well. They don't normally respond with probably like the worst center back run I've seen since I've become a Liverpool fan. I've never seen a center back play this horrendously, this consistently, and still get picked ahead of French international.
How much did you pay for
£20 million.
So you have to start him every game, don't you? That's the problem.
Well,
you pay that much for him, he's got it.
Well, here's this.
People are going to be like...
Mamadou Sakho cost £18 million the summer before.
Where is he?
He was on the bench today.
Where you at?
And this is the problem with Brendan Rodgers going into next week. Okay, now you have Balotelli back fit. You have Sakho back fit now. Chan was on the bench again. Markovic is looking like a player. Who are you going to play? You just lost with the same lineup that you felt that you were so good enough. And he actually said this in the postgame. Brendan Rodgers said that we played well enough to win today. And I don't care what your shot count is or what kind of quality chances you had. When you lose 3-0, you never played well enough to win. End of. So you can't trot out Raheem Sterling as your false nine and have that midfield again when you just lost against United 3-0. I mean, maybe you can try that at Anfield. Maybe you can try that at Anfield, Brendan Rodgers. But not when Alexis Sanchez is coming to town.
So Arsenal's winning this game.
No comment.
All right, I'll go 2-1.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
I'll say it'll be a 1-1 game because Arsenal stinks on the road, and Liverpool again will do just enough to get a 1-1 draw.
Liverpool are at home right now. If they're gonna rescue their season, especially during these dire straits, they need to get the big results at home, right?
Absolutely. All right, so another team that is not who we thought they were. Southampton.
Not who you thought we were.
No, we thought they were. We let them off the hook.
Let them off the hook. What's that? Southampton, as we predicted, though, have totally fallen off the wagon.
Absolutely. They have a huge matchup against Everton. They lost to Burnley this past weekend. To Burnley.
So Southampton went from being in second place in the Premiership during Thanksgiving weekend to now losing 4 straight games. They haven't won in their last.
They lost to Burnley.
Yep. Here's what their last
That's
6
not
games.
Okay.
Here's what their last 6 games have been looking like. They beat Leicester 2-0. They drew against Aston Villa, and then since then lost to City, lost to Arsenal, lost to Man United, lost to Burnley.
That Burnley loss stings, especially a 1-0 loss on a mistake. I
mean, Burnley's the worst scoring team in the league, and they lost 1-0.
Yeah.
We all knew Southampton would have a difficult stretch here, and especially going away, Southampton aren't as strong. They're much better at home. But losing to United at home the way they did, and then, following that up with losing to Burnley on the road when they really, really needed to get the points there.
Burnley's 4th in the form guide. What?
Turn up.
4th in the form guide. All right, but shout out to Burnley. Shout out to Burnley. All right, so we're added time. You had your bid on Qatar.
Right. So for those who are unfamiliar with the Qatar situation right now, Michael Garcia's report on Qatar, where he, dug into a bit, may have found some corruption here and there. It was buried by FIFA. They didn't release it to the public, but one of FIFA's executives are actually proposing, and it's going to happen. FIFA is going to hold a vote on whether or not they should publish publicly their own internal report on Qatar, which they didn't want to publish publicly, but instead...
It just reminds me of the torture report. It's going to have the same effects. Like, the second it gets released, it's literally just going to blow up. And who knows? It might be enough.
Yeah, I mean, well, if FIFA votes this down, then it's like, oh, well, now you've been... Of course, this is just further confirmation that you're further hiding more information from everyone. Perfect. So it's just classic FIFA. Yeah. Classic FIFA. Is that all we have today for Out of Time? Or, Ron, do you want to get a bit in?
Just really quickly, the Champions League draw is tomorrow morning. So we'll have the knockout stages, the round of 16 all set.
Liverpool won't be in it.
Expect some very high-octane matchups in the first round. Don't be surprised. It'll be fun.
What's the Champions League? I don't know. But you've been listening to The Other Football on WNYU.org. Thank you for tuning in this week, and be sure to check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/JLB Sports TV. That's how you can live stream us. Thanks, guys.